want to talk to you about an Indiana boy. His name is David Letterman. David Letterman, like I said, is Indiana's own. He and I are the same age. Well, he's a month older than I am. Both born in the same year, just a month apart. Well, Dave was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, and as a youth he attended Broad Ripple High School, which is on the north side of Indianapolis where Broad Ripple is. Ultimately, after high school, he decided he was going to attend Indiana University, which he did. Didn't do too well, folks. His grades weren't exactly sterling, but then again, he had kind of a different concept of life out there, having a good time, enjoying himself. Ultimately left Indiana University and then went on to Ball State, which back in those days was a teacher's college, they called it, Ball State Teacher's College. And then people said, well, it wasn't as strict as places like IU was. Well, actually, it was a good college, and still is a good college today. Actually, I did graduate school there, so I kind of know. But anyway, he went into Ball State University and got involved with the radio and television department. And that kind of fit his personality for things he liked doing because he saw the people on TV. He saw the folks who were interesting, funny, enjoyable, and that's what he was. Well, he was working for a station in Ball State, and he got him fired. And the reason he got fired because he was irreverent against certain classical music. That was Letterman. That's what he did. So he was banned from one station and went off and ended up starting another station. And once again, broadcasting was his thing. Now, after getting out of college, he had to figure out what to do. His friends and some of his fellow fraternity folks talked him into going to Los Angeles, go to LA, get the big time, be down there and be a star. Well, anything in LA takes you a long time, and it took him a long road to hoe. But here's the deal. I first watched David Letterman back in the early 70s when he was working at I think it was WTHR, memory serves me right, Channel 13 in Indianapolis. I had just come to Indiana, was stationed by the Air Force in a place called Grissom Air Force Base, which is north of Kokomo, and we watched Indy TV back in those days. Well, David Letterman was the reason you watched Channel 13 weather, because he was irreverent, he was funny, he was enjoyable. And young that I was at that time, well, his humor kind of fit mine. You got to remember, here's a guy that, was a regular guy. He wasn't an A student, a B student, he was a C student. But he was funny and amusing. And like I said, ultimately he decided to go to Los Angeles to try to make it. Well, guess what? Eventually he did. And eventually he became very big. And remember, he was on NBC. Carson thought it was going to be him to replace him. Ended up being Jay Leno. Went to CBS, did his own thing for a number of years. But you know what? David has changed. He has left. He left 15 years ago. Said, hey, I'm done. And he is done. Moved back to Indiana. He says, you know what? I'd rather be back here, back being humble again, being a regular person, because he realized something. All the flash and wow and kazam of being a Hollywood star ain't necessarily worth it. Determined he's going to come back to Indiana and be, well, Dave Letterman. Average, regular guy, just like the rest of us. So if you happen to see him on the street someday, go, hey, I remember you. But he now wants to be a regular person, just like you and I. David Letterman has returned to his roots in the state of Indiana, and maybe Indiana is going to be better for it. Time will tell.